Golden Globes, a Tony Award, not to mention Denzel. I mean, how is it tiring to be so that guy that everyone just, for decades, you've been someone that's almost like a sex symbol. Like, are you not tired?
I'm not that guy.
No?
I'm an ordinary guy with an extraordinary job.
Okay.
I don't look at it the other way around. It's not like I walk around and like, oh yes, I mean, just talk about me, please. and nobody's in the room.
Fair, okay.
Yeah.
Guys, I mean, I've already said his name, it's a spoiler, but can we make some noise for Denzel Washington? So humble as well. How are you?
Excellent.
Amazing. All right, we're going to talk about this fantastic film. Yeah. We're also going to talk about you, your legacy. We're going to try and play some music that represents you. I think I'll start with, we watched Gladiator yesterday. So we had Gladiator 2, we watched it. And I mean, Denzel, you're a main character. I could not stop watching you. You're so, like, I feel like the storyline, I was so like, I wanted to know everything about you and your character. So I want to know, because you're super particular about what roles you take.
I'm not super particular.
No?
In this case, well, yes, I say yes. Well, I say no more than I say yes. But in this case, it's Ridley Scott. And he called, and I said yes. I said, you know, we had great success together with American Gangster. And he called me up, told me what he was doing, gave me the idea of what he wanted me to do, and I said yes.
Yeah. So you hadn't seen the script, obviously.
I really don't remember. I don't think I read it before he called, but I'm not sure.
Okay. You must be at that stage where it's like, you're not reading scripts and auditioning, right?
It's been about 40 years for that, love. About 40 years. Yeah, I haven't auditioned for a movie in...
40?
I don't know if it's 40 exactly. I won an Academy Award in 1989.
That's
How many
right.
years ago is that?
So that would be 35?
I'm sure that nobody asked me to audition after that.
That's crazy.
I may be wrong. I may be wrong.
I mean, do you miss that?
Auditioning?
Yeah.
No.
I'm just checking. Yeah. I'm just checking. Wowza. Okay, I want to continue and talk about you getting into movies, because the stories about you, and you know, I've watched interviews of you, and you talk about the fact that even in your household, you come from a very Christian household, and movies wasn't even something you would be watching regularly, right?
No. King of Kings, Ten Commandments, Wizard of Oz.
That's it.
That's about it.
So what made you want to be an actor? Because
nothing. What made me want to be an actor? I was studying
to be a doctor, right?
That lasted about a week. It was like, maybe I was an actor then.
Maybe you were acting as a
like doctor. But acting sort of chose me. I used to do a lot of work with children, so I was working at a YMCA camp, and we put on a little skit the counselors did for the kids. And I got up there, and I remember this guy, Miles Joyce, when I came off the stage. And I had already flunked out of college. Let me preface it with that.
Okay.
So I tried everything else. And he said, man, you that was like, you ever thought about like being an actor? I was like, nah. He said, you should think about it. So within the university, Fordham University, I transferred down to the Lincoln Center campus. They had the theater program, and I did a musical, found out I couldn't sing.
Amazing, I've done that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
That's quite disappointing.
Yeah. But the girls were in the musical, so I was like, man. Yeah.
Do you remember what musical it was?
No, it was a combination. It was terrible.
Like a medley?
Yeah, of songs of, I forgot who, but I couldn't sing. I forgot who it was. It was Carl Sandburg. It was like based on Carl Sandburg. Awful.
Okay.
I was awful in it.
It was
awful.
Well, at least you knew your limitations. So college, you were like, nah, this ain't for me. No. I don't want to be a doctor. I can't be a doctor. Can't sing. Acting chose you, like you said.
The head of the theater department at Fordham always wanted to do The Emperor Jones, and he wanted to do Othello, but he didn't have the actors. So after the musical, the first role I played was Eugene O'Neill's The Emperor Jones. So I played the lead in a college production, and then the second role I played was Othello at like 20 years old, and people were like, man, you really have a gift. And I was like, oh, I think I found it.
Found it. I love that it found you. Are there any roles that you would like to play that you never have?
I'm revisiting Othello 50 years later.
Amazing.
In January, I start there. You said roles that you said
that you haven't played before? Because I'll be honest, I've watched Marvel and DC, and I'm like, Denzel should have just been a character with a cape. You and cape seem to look quite great.
I don't want to I shouldn't say, but I've been talking to someone who has made one of those.
I'm onto something.
And he looks like me in color, and that's all I'll say.
Okay, that's good enough for
figure
me.
it out.
I will actually, because and I'm talking about Gladiator 2 again. I think one of the most amazing things about the film is that, honestly, seeing you like kick ass in a cape was like
In a dress,
with lots of capes. I can barely I'm out of breath watching you. To be honest with you, I'm not that old, but the stamina is just not there, Denzel. So I wanted to know, what are you doing to keep in shape?
I was at the Academy Awards, I think it was 2 years ago, whatever it was. For the last 22 months, I've been training with a guy named Todd Romero, who trained Lenny Kravitz. He's got Lenny looking like Lenny. We got J-Lo, he trains Jennifer Lopez. And he makes all my meals, and I've lost about 75 pounds over the 22 months, but I put on, or he says I put on about 15 pounds, whatever it is, pounds of muscle. And it's just lifestyle. I mean, I don't drink or smoke anyway, so, but Haagen-Dazs ice cream was a close friend of mine.
Did you have to get rid?
Yeah. Well, moderation is the key. I won't say never, but, I'm liking the result.
Right, so something you wanted to tell us, Denzel, that some people might not know about, your son's relationship with Kendrick Lamar. You were just saying about the video.
Malcolm directed his brother, John David, in August Wilson's The Piano Lesson, and you got to see it. It's really, really, really good. And in fact, my other daughter, Katya, was one of the producers. So I'm,
you family flex on us. That's all right.
Correct.
Big up the Washingtons. I want to talk about the time that you got offered Brad Pitt's role in Seven. You turned it down, right?
Did I?
Yeah. Do you remember?
Of me, wasn't it?
Well, actually, I was going to say, because there is discernment when it comes to being in the industry, and I think you being of Christian faith, and I have turned down jobs too that felt a bit sideways, or looked at Instagram pages and things and thought, this isn't a bit of me. My son also models, and actually he turned down a job the other day and he was like, looks a bit demonic, I don't want to do that. So what would you say about being Christian, having your faith, and trying to kind of work that around this industry?
Where he leads me, I will follow. And sometimes it's in the valley. Like this role, the wages of sin is death. There's no point in worrying about or thinking that it doesn't exist. It's interesting that a role like this is celebrated.
Agreed.
We're at the doorstep. Pick a side. I know where I am, and I know where I'm going. So I'm not worrying about what I'm doing. I know who leads me, and I listen to who leads me. I was on a yacht. You're a Christian woman, right? On a boat, listening to music, praying, and there was a song on called The Face of God. And I said, Lord, in my prayer, I said, Lord, everybody's singing about the face of God. They can see your face, and I want to see your face. And while I was saying, I want to see your face, I heard, turn to your left. I turned to my left. I picked up on my phone, and I went, shh. I didn't turn to my left and look around. I just heard, turn to your left.
What was the picture? Oh my, that's breathtaking. Sorry guys, for those that you can't see, it is literally a blue sky, and it looks like wings.
Well,
and the face,
it looks like a nose.
There's a nose, there's eyes, hang on.
And he's smiling.
Oh my God, that is there's a nose, there's lips, and is he wearing shades? Is God wearing shades?
The Bible says we will see like through a mirror darkly, but then face to face. So now it says we will see like through a mirror darkly, but then face to face. Now what you don't realize looking at that is that it seemed to be about a mile wide.
Yeah, because this is
huge.
massive.
You can see the edge of the boat. You see the rail of the boat.
Yeah, on the oh, okay, that's massive.
Yeah, so some people say, oh, it's just some clouds.
No.
My point being, while I was asking,
wow,
that's what I heard. While I was asking, I said, Lord, I want to turn to your left. I went.
I love, first of all, I love that you had your phone. Second of all, I love that looks like shades and a smirk to me.
And a nose.
And a nose. Like, and I always say this about when I'm praying or if I'm having conversations with God, that God's got banter. Like, I say he's got bants for days. Like, I will be having a giggle and my son will be like, what are you talking about? But like, oh, no, God's got bants. He's got bants. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. Wow, what a picture. Okay, I want to talk to you about your role as, you're like a big brother and a father figure outside of your family, obviously. And, you know, there was a story that I'd read about what you'd done for Chadwick Boseman, and, you know, that he couldn't afford to attend academy school. Mm-hmm. And you are so important. You know, we've seen you, you know, in that moment with Will Smith, and you go to talk to him. How important is that for you? And did you have that when you started?
I love helping people. Nothing I love more. You know, I love helping people. I've always been that way. You know, the first part of your life you learn. The second part, you earn.
Sorry, where's that part? Is it
the third
13?
part, you return.
Okay.
You know, you give back, you know, and you return, or
up or down,
or
but you return.
So you're all still in the learning and slash
When's
earning.
the earning start, man?
Yeah, see, that means you're still in the learning.
No, I'm in the
and
earning.
today's a good day to learn a few things. Mm-hmm. But you already know those things, like to stay humble, you know, and to honor and love your parents. Try to leave the world better than you found it. The movies are the least of what I do. It's not that important to me. I'll show you something else. When I was I had flunked out of college, and I was in my mother's beauty parlor, and a woman was looking in the mirror. Every time I looked up, she was looking at me, and she said, "Miss Washington, give me a pen and a piece of paper." She said, "Boy," she said, she's having a prophecy. She said, "Boy, you're going to travel the world and preach to millions of people." If you see this, it says 1975. I've had that. I took a picture of it. It was an envelope my mother wrote it on, and I kept the envelope, and it got so raggedy, I just took a picture of it.
And Miss Ruth, is that her name?
Her name was Miss Ruth Green. So she said, "You're going to travel the world and preach to millions of people." And I'm thinking, like, oh, I flunked out of college, you know.
How am I going to do that?
Am I even going to get back in college?
1975.
Yeah. So when the woman left, I asked my mother. I said, "Mom, who is that?" She said, "It's Miss Ruth Green. She's one of the oldest members of the church in town, and she's known to have the gift of prophecy." And I remember thinking, I wonder if she can prophesy about me getting back in school.
Yeah.
She didn't say anything about being famous or becoming an actor or any of that. That was March 27th. That summer, I started acting. That fall. And, well, the rest is history, but that's not what I was put here to do. What we've been talking about is what I've been put here to do. That was the platform which she prophesied. Now, someone can say, "Oh, that's just a coincidence." That's a coincidence. What I saw in the sky is a coincidence. Where I am in life is a coincidence, and I'm not talking about the fame, because that's not important to me, you know. People have heard me say you'll never see a U-Haul behind a hearse. You can't take it with you. But, young people, you can leave it here. Your gifts, your knowledge, your example. You know, you guys have a great opportunity. Young, beautiful, healthy, strong. Not you.